everybody, welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So we're here with Amanda from On the Middle Shelf, and we are in the midst, actually at the end, of our BookTube Besties getaway, trip, whatever you want to call it, for 2024. So if you haven't already watched Krista's vlog, go do that first, and then come back, because we're going to go through all of the books that we have bought at the multiple bookstores we have visited in the last few days. So go watch her first, then come back here, and then also go to Sarah's channel and watch the book hauls from Krista and Sarah for the weekend. So here we go.
Caveat, I am sick.
Yes. So she sounds like Phoebe on Friends when she has cold.
So, you know, it's fine.
So it's good. Okay, first bookstore that we went to. So Amanda and I carpooled. We met up in the wonderful state of Wisconsin and rode down together, which was a blast. We chatted for like almost the entire way.
First half, at least.
Yeah, and we stopped in Ames, Iowa at the Dogar bookstore, which probably was my favorite bookstore.
It was really good.
Of the trip. We met Rachel there, and she was phenomenal, and the place is adorable. Literally could have stayed there the entire rest of the day, but we had to pay for parking.
It was just a really good vibe.
It just was calm, like immediately when you walked in. It was really, really sweet. So I ended up picking up 2 books from there. I grabbed A Grim Reaper's Guide to Catching a Killer by Maxie Dara. Honestly, the cover drew me in right away. And this follows Maxie. She's a modern day Grim Reaper. So her outfit is business casual, not a black cloak. And she doesn't carry a scythe, and she works for the Department of Natural Causes. There is a process that they go through as being a Grim Reaper. She goes to pick up a new client and finds that his soul is already missing. When she finally tracks down Connor Ortiz, the client, he angrily insists he was murdered, and he refuses to move on until our main character finds out a way of what happened to him. So she kind of finds herself in a little bit of I need to solve this, and something weird is going on. So picked it up. I thought it was adorable. I loved it. And then we both picked up Murder Your Employer. So this is by Rupert Holmes. It is I don't even know. It's supposed to be funny. It was a staff pick, I believe.
Yeah, and this cover
is everything. And there's
a beautiful map in it. And it's like funny, but about people that want to execute.
And the very first sentence is, so you've decided to commit a murder. It's like a funny take on it.
It just sounds so funny.
Yes, definitely our jam. So that's what I got. Amanda got a few.
So I got that, and then I also picked up Steve Sheinkin writes nonfiction middle grade, and I've read a few of his, and so I picked up Most Dangerous, which is about the Vietnam War, and I picked it up because the back of it says, during the Vietnam War, America was willing to do anything, even lie to the American people, to stop the spread of communism. And
lie to the American people.
That just sounded
appropriate.
Really up my alley. And I love reading, because obviously this isn't a tiny book, but it's written in a way that is super accessible, but also very thorough. And so I grabbed that. And then I also grabbed Jen DeLuca's new book, Haunted Ever After. I read her Well Met series and loved them. And this is about a girl that lives in a town where everybody is like, yeah, it's haunted. There's ghosts. Okay. And she moves into town and she's like, what? But then like weird things start happening, but it's a romance. So anyway, and I really, really liked her previous stuff. So that's what I got at Dog Eared Books.
Awesome. And then Amanda took us on another adventure to a Books A Million, which I'd never been to one. So there was one in Ames, Iowa. So we checked it out. I grabbed 2 cookbooks randomly. An Instant Pot mini cookbook, just because we've been cooking a lot more at home because it's a lot safer for my daughter. And then I have all of the other Pioneer Women cookbooks. So I picked up the one that I didn't have. And I mean, if this doesn't make you hungry, I don't know what it is.
Her stuff is so good.
So I asked if these counted towards my book numbers. I don't think they should, but apparently they do. So
And then on the way out of Dog-Eared Books, I saw this book and I was like, ooh, that looks so good. And because it was blurbed like by the staff, it was like a staff pick, and they said that it was like a Gilmore Girls vibe, which is...
And You've Got Mail.
And yeah, so it's basically You've Got Mail, but like a witchy You've Got Mail situation. And yeah.
Jerry started reading it.
And I already started reading it, and I'm really liking it so far. So there's that. And then I picked up A Bit Much by Lindsey Rush. This is a poetry collection, and I had heard about this from Jamie on the podcast, Jamie B. Golden, and knew that I wanted to pick it up at some point, and I saw it, and I just like picked it up and started reading poems. And the third poem that I read, I was reading them to Lindsey, and the third poem I read to her, I started like sobbing in the store. And then I was reading it to somebody today again, and started crying while I was reading it, the same poem again. And I've read multiple of these during this trip and loved all of them. So highly, highly suggest this book.
She sold out the ones at the independent bookstore we were
at.
They're all gone.
Because of Amanda. It's so good. So that's what I got at Books A Million.
Awesome. So then we connected with the other girls and did some book shopping. So we've book shopped now 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
So we went to...
Couple stores a day.
Yeah, a couple stores. You know, we paced ourselves.
We did.
We went to the Pretty Posy, which was the first store we went to, which, again, another bookstore. You walk in and it's just like...
You feel like you're at home.
It was fantastic. And
it was super bright. It was super open. They had the comfiest couch, which I love. The people there were so kind. The people that were coming in and browsing the books were so kind.
We pretty much made friends with everyone right away.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was really great. And the one employee that was there turned me onto this that I didn't even know existed. So Benjamin Stevenson wrote, "Everyone in my family has killed someone, and everyone on this train is a suspect." And there's a Christmas one. Everyone this Christmas has a secret. It's a little one. I'm super excited about it. Also because Riley has been reading these. And so I'm like, hey, it's another book that she'll actually pick up. Win. So I grabbed that one. And then this one, Emily in my book club was talking about. It's Sleep Tight by J.H. Markert. I know it was a book of the month book, but again, I would rather give my money to this beautiful independent bookstore. So it's a thriller about a sole survivor of a serial killer might hold the key to stopping a new spree of murders in this propulsive horror thriller. That's all I'm going to read. But she said it was fantastic, so.
And then I picked up from Pretty Posy, I picked up Summer Fridays by Suzanne Rindell. And I have been reading a lot of romance. That's been the bulk of what I've actually been reading lately. And this is like 90s vibes. It starts in summer of 1999, and it's basically this couple where she feels like her significant other, fiance, is cheating on her with a coworker, and so the coworker's boyfriend and her start like swapping notes, and I feel like by the end they are gonna end up
I wonder what will happen.
But I also started this one and am really loving the writing style. And I've heard from multiple people that this is like their favorite book of the year. And it's really, really good. So I grabbed that one.
Awesome. Then we went to
Monstera,
which was a
plant
independent bookstore and plant store. I somehow did not.
You didn't get anything at Monstera?
No, because remember I was dealing with the thing.
Oh, yeah. Drama.
Anyway, so
I picked up from Monstera. I picked up The Examiner by Janice Hallett. I read The Alperton Angels earlier this year, and
did you read another one?
No, that's the only one I've read. But I
love how she writes her books.
It, and they're all like not multimedia, but kind of. They're text messages, emails, that sort of thing, transcripts, that sort of thing. And so this one says 6 students, 1 murder. Can you solve the crime? So I grabbed that because that sounds like it would be right on my alley.
So then when we were at Pretty Posy and Monstera, we ran into
an elementary school
wonderful
librarian.
elementary school librarian who, of course, we struck up an amazing conversation with. And she told us about a store called 7 Stories, and we had to go check it out because it is owned by a 15-year-old.
15-year-old girl started it in pulling a trailer behind her tractor.
Right.
And it morphed from that into her storefront that she has now, which is small but amazing. And you can reference Krista's vlog because she has her story on her vlog. But it was such a cool space, and she was such a kind, put together,
like well-spoken
young woman.
She's going places, this girl.
Yeah, she's very, very smart.
And a very unique collection of books there, too, I thought. It was books that I didn't see. It wasn't necessarily, these are the bestsellers, so let me get them. She's very intentional that what she brings in her store is something that will be sold. Like and it changes all the time. So I picked up 2 books by a local author. The White Rose of Texas follows the story of a woman after the Alamo. And we have The Shore of Forever that follows families that survived the sinking of the SS Andrea Doria, which again, I've never heard of.
Never heard of that.
Based on true events, local Kansas City author. I picked those up in historical fiction, which my jam.
So she had a shelf like near the front of her store
that was all the time,
like paperback romances that she has all the time, and they're $10 a piece, buy 2 get 1 free. So of course I had to do that because why not?
It's maths. That's math.
Maths, right? Girl math. So I picked up For Twice in My Life. This is by Annette Christie, and it's basically about a girl and 2 brothers. So we'll see. And then I grabbed April May Fall by Christina Hovland. And it's about a mom who is basically like falling apart, which can relate. So grab that one. And then to round out my 3rd free book, I grabbed Sophie Cousins' The Good Part, which I've already read. So I actually grabbed this to give to Lindsey because this has like what Alice Forgot vibes, where it's about Lucy, who is 26 and just exhausted with all the crap going on. And she's like, I just want to skip to the good part. And then she wakes up and she has a ring on her finger and a husband and kids and has no idea how she got there.
Also, like in 5 years.
Yeah. So it is great. So Lindsey's taking that home. And then I also picked up Mexikid. This is Krista's like Patreon pick or whatever. But I've been eyeing this, and it is by Pedro Martin. He is a local to Kansas City author. So I grabbed it just as I like buying local authors when I'm visiting places. And so this is a graphic memoir, middle grade graphic memoir about a kid who goes to Mexico. His parents are from Mexico. He was born in the U.S., and they're going back to Mexico in a Winnebago, and something about his grandpa. I don't really know, but sounds good.
So then that was all. Is that all we did?
Yep, that was all we did that day. And then...
So then the next day we went and visited the rabbit hole, which was amazing.
Reference Krista's vlog, but that was probably my favorite place I've ever been on planet Earth.
Pretty much.
It was great.
Yes. And then after that, we went to a romance bookstore called Under the Cover, which was again another really sweet place. I don't know, spicy place.
Spicy. It was not sweet. It was
very spicy. But they had just expanded, so they're like basically doubled their size. They were doing a grand opening, so we kind of got to get a little sneak peek of what things look like. It was that I really enjoyed that place because there's the details that they thought of in every corner was fantastic.
And they were there to just make romance accessible and no shame. And like you come and you let your freak flag fly.
Right. Dedicated. We will find a book in the store for
anybody who, any level, any like whatever. And so it was really good.
And they had these. They are bookstore passports. So inside... You can write down the bookstore name, the city. You can put a little picture or a sticker in there. When you went it, books you bought.
The name of the bookseller.
So we both got one.
Because, like, we're not going to get that.
Right. And then I purchased How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. I haven't read a Megan Quinn book yet, but my friend Megan has been bugging me for a while to pick up a Megan Quinn book. So here you go, Megan. You're welcome. This one, it's Every Crinkle in Crinkleton celebrated Christmas a lot, but Coal Black and Whistler Lane unfortunately did not. So very Grinchy themed. But yet the first sentence, not children book appropriate. So it was fantastic.
And then I picked up The Undermining of Twyla and Frank. This is the sequel to The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy. Sorry, I've read the book. And I really liked it. It's like kind of like a low fantasy romantasy. But this is another local author and this is signed. And so I just wanted to support local, get the signed book, and they're really fun books. So don't really know what's about other than that. And then I asked them, because I have found my like niche in romance is that I really like single parent romances. And so they recommended Flawless, which I have another friend who also has recommended Flawless to me a number of times, and you can't get it on audio. So I went ahead and just grabbed it. But this is it says the rules were simple. Keep his hands off the agent's daughter, stay out of trouble, but now he's stuck with her. There's only one bed, and well, rules are made to be broken. And it's about a bull rider. It's like a Western.
Why did I not know about it? I think I might.
Yeah, and it's the first in the series. So that's what I got it under the cover.
Then we stopped at a used bookstore. It wasn't fantastic, but the find that I have from that used bookstore
fantastic.
Was amazing. I have no clue how I got this lucky. I feel like I won the lottery. It's The Sirens by Amelia Hart. She wrote Wayward. It is about sisters separated by centuries, bound together by the sea. So we have 2019. We have Lucy in 1800. I started reading this in the car, and
she was like, "I'm hooked." I couldn't
stop. I was in it from the very beginning. I had to put it down because they made me, basically. But I'm so excited that I found this there. I didn't really want to give them money, but I could walk away. But I could not walk away from that.
Then today we met up with some viewers and friends and had lunch, and after lunch did a book exchange. Did you get anything from the book exchange? So everybody brought a book and we kind of book swapped, and from that I grabbed Chain Gang All-Stars, which I've started a couple of times, but I just wrong time to read it. But I'm very really excited about this. It's very much like a it's like a futuristic, the justice system, people in prison like have to gladiator fight each other.
Yes.
But it's women. So
like dystopian.
Yeah, dystopian. So yeah, that's what I got from that. And then after lunch, we went to a Rainy Day Books, which was such an amazing experience. Like, I can't even tell you how big my bucket was filled today between lunch and meeting everybody and then Rainy Day Books. And the booksellers at Rainy Day Books are some of the best people I've ever met in my life. They were so excited that we were there. They were thrilled to be like supportive, and they were just so kind, and they were selling books like there was no tomorrow. I would
dare anyone to walk in there and talk to any of the booksellers.
And all of them
without a book.
Were phenomenal. I bought a book literally that every single bookseller sold me at least one book in that store. And it was such an amazing experience.
And again, the atmosphere was so like, it was packed. I wouldn't say packed, but it was busy.
It was mostly our group.
It was, yeah. Yeah.
But there were a lot of other people there, and they're like, what is happening here today? Like, we brought the party.
But it's like, it didn't phase that. They were everywhere helping with everybody. You couldn't help but look around and be like, I want that one, and that one, and that one, and that one.
And they were so happy and so joyful, and were just giving us recommendations of other bookstores to try in the area too, and like, where have you been? And they were so excited to be there. Which tells me a lot about their integrity if they're telling me to also check out other ones. And now I know why we were told by multiple other booksellers from all these other stores that we had been to. They're like, have you been to Rainy Day? Have you been to Rainy Day? Other like establishments that we've been to, not just bookstores, are like, have you been to Rainy Day? Because they're just such good people.
Yeah. And they host a ton of author events.
Yeah.
that was fantastic. So I ended up with 3 books from there. I got John Grisham's new one. It's Framed. It's a true stories of wrongful convictions. I don't remember how many there are. I thought I looked, but I can't think of it. But there's a number of them in here. And he kind of talks about, I read the preface a little bit, and he talks basically like when he wrote Innocent Man, this has kind of weighed on him and how often this could potentially happen. And so he wrote these stories. Again, super excited for that one. And then I picked up The Wealth of Shadows by Graham Moore.
I almost grabbed that one.
Oh, first of all, I just love the cover. I don't know. It's just great.
And it sounds so good.
Historical thriller based on a true story where an ordinary man joins a secret mission to bring down the Nazi war machine by crashing their economy. Very different take, in my opinion, so I grabbed that. And then, again, here, this will tell you how good these booksellers are there. I broke up with her after Apples Never Fall because I thought it was a waste of time, and I'm like, she lost it. She lost her talent. Yet I now have her new book. That's how good the booksellers are. And it's a signed copy. But yeah, here one moment. Again, not much really what it's about. Other than that's how good they were there. I walked out with Leanne Moriarty. And I'm not sorry. This is gonna take a little
bought more than 3 books at Rainy Day. I went a little bit crazy.
She had fun.
I had a lot of fun. I spent a lot of money. I supported a local business. It's fine. I just had a birthday, and so this was my birthday present to myself. Was that I got to buy whatever I wanted. And it was funny when I was checking out because for those of you that are familiar with who I am, I don't read physical books very often, if ever. And yet I felt the need to own all these books. So we'll just
start from the top.
I bought 2 John Scalzi books because I read the Kaiju Preservation Society and loved it. I have The Old Man's War and I've started it and I've really enjoyed it, but just never finished it because life. And so he had recently been into the bookstore. So I grabbed Locked In, a signed copy of Locked In. This is like a pandemic book, and the virus makes, the disease causes lock-in, which is when victims are fully awake and aware, but unable to move or respond to anything.
I think that was a Grey's Anatomy episode.
So anyway, it's a sci-fi. John Scalzi writes sci-fi. So there's that one. And then I also picked up Starter Villain, which I've heard recommended numerous times. I've heard it's hilarious. It's about a supervillain cat.
How do I know this?
I've heard so much about that. So I also picked up Simon Sort of Says, which is the middle grade March book club book for November, which I need to start reading ASAP because I just need to.
That's super cute.
I picked up Twyford Code because this is the only Janice Hallett I didn't own after purchasing the Examiner. I already own the Appeal, so I wanted to pick up the Twyford Code.
I think she has a Christmas one too.
Yeah, she does have a Christmas one. No idea what it's about. It says it's time to solve the crime of the century. That's all it says.
Doesn't matter. It's Janet. It's this
That's
one.
why I got that one. I grabbed Impossible Creatures, Catherine Rundell. I've read all of her middle grade up to this point. It has sprayed edges. And this book has gotten so much middle grade buzz. And it's gorgeous. I really want to read it. So I got that. And then it's beautiful. Beautiful. I picked up Bright Young Women because I, over the course of the past year, have decided that I am massively obsessed with cults and am getting more into true crime.
She's almost cultish about cults.
Almost borderline. And have gotten more into true crime and like serial killers and that sort of thing. And this is like a go-to for that. And it's just gorgeous. Like, it's beautiful. So I got that.
Just like you.
I
had to stop listening. Or we'll wait.
Oh, yeah. So, Into the Uncut Grass by Trevor Noah. This is his like children's book. This is a signed copy that I got. I loved Born a Crime. Yeah, and this is very like in the vein of The horse, the bull,
Yep.
boy, the mole, the whatever it is. Anyway, no idea what it's about. But it's just really, really pretty and it's signed. So I got it.
Just the number of signed copies we have tells you how many events they have.
Yeah, I got a lot of signed copies.
That.
Okay, How to Age Disgracefully by Claire Pooley. I read Iona Iverson's Rules for Commuting and loved it. And so this is about a woman who finds herself alone on her 70th birthday and basically doesn't want to join the senior citizens group, but she does, and then like falls in love with everybody there, and then something happens to their building and the city's trying to shut them down. It's very like found family senior citizen edition, which I love.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Picked up Jessie Q. Sutano's book.
I almost
got Sarah's gushing over this. I've heard so many people gush about this though, and it's just a beautiful book. So got that. Okay, I was setting aside all the ones that I only purchased because they specifically sold them to me. I grabbed The Book of Charlie, Wisdom from the Remarkable Life of a 109-Year-Old Man. The one bookseller there was telling us this is basically a journalist who is local to this area, and his neighbor was 102, I think, at the time that he started. And basically this is just his advice. And they've had a lot of success with this book, and he really, really recommended it. So you were saying you had to stop?
I already checked out, and I heard him talk about this, and I'm like, I gotta walk away, or I'm gonna keep buying books.
Yeah. So, and it's signed as well, and the book is dedicated to him. No, not him. I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
Anyway, whatever. You can cut that out. All right. And then there was this one bookseller there that was so amazing. She was so good. But she recommended Hunter by Mercedes Lackey. And she said, because I was telling her that I really liked Skyward and like sci-fi YA and things like that. And so she recommended this. It's the first in a series. No idea what it's about.
Doesn't matter.
Something about dragons. I don't know. And then there's other ones about dragons too. She also recommended this one to me. Last Dragon on Mars, special first edition.
It's gorgeous.
And it's beautiful. But she said that this could have easily been an adult or a YA book. It's written so well. And she just gushed and gushed and gushed about this. And it is just, it's really, really pretty. So let's go see if there's a map. It doesn't look like it though.
I don't see a map.
The spine's cool looking. Ooh, the inside of those jackets cool too. Anyway, so that is what I got at Rainy Day Books.
And then the one book I had been looking for this entire trip, but I never found because apparently it's not popular. I found it at Target. And it was buy one, get one half off.
It was buy one, get one half off.
So this is the Games God's Play by Abigail Owens.
Oh, it's so pretty.
It is Hunger Games, but with Greek gods.
She'll fight for her life for the god of death.
That's all I know about it. So we'll have to read it together.
Yeah.
And then we did the most amazing thing. And we got to go see Chloe from Always Booked. We got to go visit her, and she let us shop her Pingo for sale bookshelf. So y'all lost out on these. Historical fiction Beyond the Wire by James Shipman. It is World War II, based on a true story about a group of people in Auschwitz who decide to stage to try to escape.
Oh,
that was the word. Words, Lindsey. And then Jojo Moya's Night Music. She's been redeemed after the Giver of Stars. I'm going to give her another go. And again, I mean, the price was right. So this one is classical violinist. She has always taken her comfortable life for granted, but when her husband dies suddenly, leaving her in a mountain of debt, she and her 2 children are forced to abandon their home and move to the Spanish house, a now dilapidated manor that she inherited in the English countryside. So I'm excited.
And then because I just can't stop.
No.
I got 3 books. I got The City Baker's Guide to Country Living, which is like very Gilmore Girls-esque. I've heard it recommended for people who love Gilmore Girls, which would be me. And then I've also heard mixed things about this. But the price was right. So
I believe Chloe said that.
Yeah. And then I picked up Chris Whitaker's first book, We Begin at the End, because I have his new one and I just really want to read them both. And then everybody convinced me to grab Who is Maud Dixon because they said it's really good.
So there we go.
And I don't know what any of these books are about. I just got them.
It's okay.
It's fine.
So that's the new trophies we bought to put on our shelves.
That we don't have space for.
Right. Anyways, head over to Sarah's channel to see what books Krista and Sarah brought home with them. Make sure you check out the vlog if you haven't already. Go to Amanda's channel too. Give her some love. I know she hasn't recorded in a while, but
I haven't posted anything, but all my old stuff's still there.
She's still here. She's still reading.
I'm still cooking.
We're cooking.
We're cooking.
We're cooking.
And we'll see. Maybe I'll be back someday.
Yeah. And if not, it's okay too. All right. Anyways, comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you next time. Bye.